Hey everybody. All right, welcome to Xavia Fox Talks, and of course I'm your host, Xavia Fox. Anyway, I'm going to not take up any more mic time. I'm going to turn it over to the lovely women of the Sister Circle.
Okay, so moving on. Hey everybody, it's J. Marie again.
Hi
J. Marie. My question is, and I hope I don't shoot myself in the foot for this one, but how important is a man's money? Okay, so now it's two parts to this for me. Now, I'm not going to say that it's extremely important because I have dated guys that were making less than me. I've dated guys that even didn't have a job, but I saw potential in them, and don't laugh now. I have only once, but the no job was one.
Right.
And they both came out the bus.
I can't do that.
Exactly. That one time. Yeah. No, but it's not extremely important of how much he has, but how he handles what he has for me. So, like, if I see that you're only making X amount of dollars and you spend half of it on rims, cars, video games, and nonsense, then there's a problem there. Like, you need to know what money is. Like, you need to just be knowledgeable of money and how it works and the value of money. Because if you don't, I can't do nothing with you.
I don't necessarily, money's just, I think to me sex is more important.
That's a whole different answer.
I don't say that real. I don't mean like he shouldn't have any, because I'm never gonna date a man that doesn't have a job. Get away from me. You're not an option. No, sex okay. When I say that, I'm basically saying that if he has a job and I have a job, his money, my money make big money. Right. So I'm not gonna put this big stigma on, he should have this amount of money or he should have that amount of money. It's like you said, it's what he does with it. If he's responsible and he knows how to manage the bills and manage the household, and if he needs my assistance with my money, then I'm going to help. But it's this, I'm just not really big on the money thing. I'm not. But no, you're gonna have a job. You're not gonna be broke. You don't have to make more than me. You can make a few dollars less than me. But I don't know. I'm just not really big on the money thing. I'm just, well, and I didn't necessarily really mean that sex is more important. But if I had it my way, if I'm working and I'm making good money and you just happen to lose your job, I'm gonna make sure we're okay until you get it together. So I guess it's kind of
different though.
Yeah, but but my point with that is, to me, money just is not a huge factor. If we both work, then your 50 and my 80 is 130.
But what if it's minimum wage and you're 80?
I wouldn't date him. Okay. He wouldn't even be in my life.
Okay. So it is money.
Right. No. I'm talking, when I say money, we're speaking money. If you know how to handle it, if you're making $80,000 a year and you're spending it on these nonchalant things that are not important, then you don't know the value of money. You don't know how to handle money. You don't know the idea of what money should be doing for a family. Nobody that makes $3.25 an hour, what are you going to do for anybody? Do you even have your own place?
There are no jobs that you get paid $3.25.
But do you know what I'm saying? Minimum wage is $7. Do you even have your own apartment?
And they just rely on tips.
Do you even have a car? Do you live with your mother? There's a whole lot of factors that are going to surround that I'm not even going to be concerned about. You live with your mama. You live with your mama. Come on, seriously? Stop it. So that's what I mean. So,
well, you want me to be honest? Money is very important because statistics shows the high numbers of divorce is caused by finance. So money is important because we have to live off of it. And even when you're being responsible and meeting that maturity level, every woman or man should, depending on their age group, should have a car. It don't have to be a fancy car, but a reliable car. You should have a job, or if you lost your job, you should be in school making preparations or something. You should be doing something, because I don't really believe Now, it's nothing wrong with the sex, yes, it's nothing wrong with that, but it's like after we lay down, we still got these bills to pay, because if we don't pay these bills, we're going to be out. And I do agree with that, because when we put our money together, we're going to have more money, but we each need to bring something to the table. And it's like, if I'm here, I'm sorry, I can't go down there and get you. I'm just sorry. But if you was here with me and you have to go down there, then I'll pull you back up here. But you know, to be honest, it's really even kind of hard to have somebody right here with me. But I'll deal with that because we're going somewhere. And as you stated earlier, you have to be driven. So as I said, you can be on the fries at Burger King, but then we're gonna need to have to talk about how we're gonna get you to a manager position. Because I'm gonna help you get to a manager, because everybody I'm gonna have them do lunch there. I like Burger King, but I'm gonna help you get there. Then when you become a manager, I'm gonna help you get you to own a couple of them. So you have to have that vision and that determination, and you have to work that plan.
He's how old at Burger King? 35.
That does matter. But if
Where is his vision? 35.
That was for
Listen, he's on 35 on fries, then we can't even do anything. But I'm saying,
well, if you went in front of Burger King,
for an example,
y'all obviously ain't been to the restaurant, because that's not who's working the fries.
That's true. But I'm giving an example on how you can have a vision and work that plan. You know what I mean? Because if you have a man with a vision and a plan, and you know he's driven. For an example, when me and my husband first started off, we was poor. We ate hot dogs, but he had a vision, and we did it together, but he was going somewhere. But if he wasn't going anywhere and just feeding me all these stories, he's going to be by himself.
Yeah.
To make a long story short, money is very important. Yeah. It's very important.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say it wasn't.
No, I'm saying it's very important, because men always try to say it's not that.
And then they don't want you to ask how much they make.
Money.
Don't ever ask them what they make.
That's true too. It's not
now
so much. That's true too.
But if you make like $12,000 a year, I need to know that.
Now the thing that
bothers me is like,
Big money, remember? It's big money.
That's not too, girl.
That's big money.
No, that's my big money.
In men, play the devil's advocate, as you said. In men's defense, I think it's real wrong when women target men because of their money. Because you know, have your own and bring something to the table. That's on men and women. It's just not only the men, but women too. Because it's always been women always saying, "Well, I want a baller." Where are you balling, or you at least get into some type of baller status?
I make it a point of mine when I'm dealing with anyone. I never expect for a man to get me anything that I couldn't get for myself.
Exactly.
Now, if he get me something that I couldn't get for myself, I ain't gonna lie, I will accept it.
too.
But I don't expect it, and I don't, expect you to get those things for me.
That's true. But you have some women, they wait all day. Their whole job is to seek a man out.
I used to be one of them. Well, no,
that's their whole job. They don't want to do anything for themselves. It's nothing wrong with liking nice things, but if you solely base it on what a man can do for you, you need to do that for yourself, because that's more attractive. If you out there doing it your own, men wouldn't mind coming in there and try to help you. But I see some where, well, I'm not going to work because I'm just going to give me a man to take care. Well, what are you doing for yourself? But see, what you don't realize, Tarita, they're waiting on some marijuana and some Ciroc. They're not really waiting on nothing major. They're just waiting on some. Is that what, a one bill or two? Because when I hear that, it bothers me. That's not the same. It's not the same. What are you doing for yourself?
And also, if you get a man to take care of you and you haven't brought anything to the table, believe me, you paying somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Control. That's true.
You've been controlled. Yeah,
that's so true.
Yeah, no freedom, can't open your mouth.
You know, that's so true.
You don't put the clothes on.
So let me just toss this question in then. So what is your, in relationship to the importance of money, and we're all talking about, bring your own, this and that and the other. So then what is your definition of a man that's a provider?
No,
if you're bringing all of your own, where does and how does he provide?
No, I'm saying as far as the teamwork. Her and him bringing what they have together
and
to build and allow him to be the provider, because that is his role. But don't just solely say, okay, he gonna go out and make the money, because in some cases when I was pregnant, my husband didn't want me to work, but I wanted to, and so that was our greatest battle, because I always was taught by our Father is that you need to have your own money. Yes, your husband's supposed to take care of you, but you have to have something in case that does not work out. Because therefore leaving, you should be able to stand on your own once if that relationship so happens to end for whatever reason. So that always been in my mind. Like, I don't mind him providing for me, but in some sense, I like that self of independence of having my own. And we put it together. We used to put it together, but it's like, I wanted to make sure, and if I did not adapt that, I wouldn't even lasted this long with our kids, with him being deceased, because I would have been so dependent on him.
Yes, right.
So
and
that's how I was able to keep the household going.
Ladies, the reality is that day of the man being the sole provider, I'm not going to say it's gone, but it's 90%. It's there. And so, and I think we understand that is reality, and it's okay. We're asking the man to be the head of the household. You know, to maybe, come in.
But his money is not just the sole determination of him being a provider.
But isn't 90% gone in African American relationships? Because there are still households in other cultures where the man is the provider and the woman stays. So is this still an African? Yeah, because when I was married, I was a housewife. So I know that does still exist in the African American community. But what we're talking about here, and everybody is agreeing about this whole partnership, is that part of why 70% of us are single, because we feel like we need to be this partner? Is that what men are saying? Because I hear a lot of men also say, and y'all know I do a lot of discussions and get a bunch of inboxes, I hear a lot of men saying the women are so independent until they don't have a place. They don't want there are some, because they don't want to have to pull the weight. Those are the lazy ones. A lot of men want to be that provider. They don't want you to be their partner as far as, this is my definition here. I say that some people, men and women, are looking for this partnership, which equals a roommate that you have sex with legally.
That's true.
So when you look at the money and this whole partnership thing of, we're bringing this to the table, I'm bringing this and I'm going to stay independent, are we allowing, how do you allow a man to be a man? But so sometimes they are looking for that woman that is not as necessarily hell-bent on being independent and bringing her own this and that and the other, because he is the man. She doesn't allow him to be the man.
He probably didn't communicate to her.
That's a good point, but now that it's a small percentage of housewives that are left. But with the world, in the black community, but how the world has changed for African Americans, we have been forced to get out here to be so independent, to the point where oftentimes we are by ourselves. It could be from different type of circumstance. We are. So we have gotten to that point where it's sad to say that in most cases, some marriages are business deals. It's the truth. It's the honesty of it. It's the truth.
About 10 to 15 years.
It is the truth. So it's up to us to evaluate, because we go back to what we stated in part one, where to each household, whatever works for that household, that's fit. Some people may work better with being partners, where others may want that woman to, she may be okay with being back and why he's providing, whereas though some women want that partnership. So I guess it goes back to whatever best fit for your household.
Right. But
and what better works.
That whole independent woman thing, I just explained about that. Men shouldn't perceive that as a negate to them or to belittle their role as the leader or the provider. She can still be an independent woman, and still be the woman that he needs her to be, as far as being this submissive person. He's not guaranteed to be there forever for her. Right. First of all, nothing lasts forever. And so if she becomes this submissive, subservient type person that he would like, what happens if something happens to him? And now she's lost who she was as an independent individual, and now he's gone, and now she has to start over, rebuild her life. Right. So just because she's independent, that doesn't negate him as a leader. That just states that I'm an independent help for you. Yes, I'm an independent woman, but if you were to fall, honey, I got your back.
Right. I want to know, are men using this as a cop-out?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm so sick of this.
Perceived as such a bad
every discussion,
their answer to everything is that
she an independent woman. Right.
But if you look at the definition of the word independent, it does not work with relationship.
I was about to throw that out.
Yeah. Independent and relationship don't work together.
Okay, we're throwing out a word around like it's just, you know, how are you in a relationship but you're independent?
No.
It doesn't make sense. It's almost an oxymoron.
It is oxymoron.
Let me ask this then. If it's an oxymoron, she's not an independent woman. She's this
interdependent.
Hold on.
It's codependent on each other.
But not being independent doesn't necessarily mean you're subservient.
Well,
right. And that was another thing. Why does submission go with subservient?
The man being the provider, the man being the provider, and you being the submissive person. Okay, that does not mean that you can't have the idea of who you are. I was independent before I met you. Now, just because I'm in a relationship with you, yes, I'm going to submit to you. Yes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to become, I'm no longer an individual. Now we're one. But that has nothing to do with who I was before I met you and who was still in me.
We're not negating
you
that.
can always be an independent individual. It's not anything, it shouldn't be looked at as negative though.
That's true. I think they use it as an excuse too, as a form of control. Because if you think about it, we as women, we do submit in most cases, because if we have a family and a husband, we can't run like a man do.
We do
He
submit.
can get up and just go and hang out with the guys, but we got to make sure he's okay,
the
children are okay, the house is
yes.
clean, and all of that before we even decide it. And if we do say, okay, honey, I'm going to go out with the girls, we get flack from it. Well, you know you're a married woman with kids. You're going out with your single. So we get that. So is it a sense of an excuse for men? Because they always say that they will want to be the provider, but in most cases, men really don't want to be the full provider.
No, they don't.
They really want a damsel in distress.
Yes.
And you don't really want,
because that's
I understand what she's saying as far as independent. I think it mostly,
that's
I think
what men
you should
need. They
be.
need to feel needed.
Yes, they need to feel needed.
But she doesn't.
But that's where they get that stuff from.
And see where they.
But she doesn't have to project that onto him either.
And I'm not saying she will project it. I'm just saying, as me being an independent woman, I could date somebody, and I know how to put that to the side. But that doesn't change the fact that that is who I am. I need to be submissive. I'm going to be submissive to you. If I need to stand up and be the leader, I'm going to do that too. But if you're not this independent person, and this man fall, how the hell you gonna take care of the home?
That's not what
it has to come out of some point.
They don't.
Independent is separate.
Right?
And that's what we're trying to. It's almost semantic. So hear me there. But that's what I'm saying. When we keep saying I'm independent, that's separate.
Yes,
so let's say you're a
man,
you're with a guy and you're in a relationship, and he says, I'm an independent man. How would that make you feel? It's like, I thought we were in this together. I thought we were trying to become together as one.
As an independent man,
but what
I can't get upset at that. Really,
all we're saying is the word. It's not necessarily that you lose your identity. Because I think you're saying, if I'm saying that you're not independent, then you've lost your identity. There's a whole lot of variance between independence and losing your identity.
And there's a role that you're supposed to play in the marriage.
But to answer your question,
you're the submissive one.
To answer your question though, if
he's the leader,
if the
he's
person,
the provider.
If the man falls and you're there, what you need to be is responsible, not necessarily independent. So it's whatever, right. So I think she's right. We're hitting up on semantics because it's not so much about being independent, like I got this. You do have it, but it's because you're responsible and you're intelligent and you know the right action steps to fix whatever problems arise as a result of him not being there. That's true.
But see, you know what? It's a lot of this label is what men have put on us because we have a voice, so they want to call it. She's so independent because we have our own voices. If you respect that a woman has a voice, because you don't know everything, you have to be open to what she is saying too. Because men want to always, I'm going to do it my way, but maybe your way is not working in this situation. So if I'm going to challenge you, not in the sense of challenge you, but try to put that out there, you're looking at it as a challenge. Then you're going to see she independent. She's not.
And that's not a challenge.
I see that it's not.
I'm
trying to voice my opinion because sometimes I see where you could fall, and I'm trying to catch you so you don't know everything.
And instead of you looking at me as the person, you got to throw independent clause out there.
True. So I think
that's what the guy turns around and say, "Oh, she's just like every kid." That's what they'll say. That they will throw that out there.
It's the way,
and now it becomes something negative.
It's just the way that the word.
I'm just saying it should not be perceived as something negative, because at the end of the day, you go ahead and you become solely dependent on your husband. Go ahead. Guess what happened when he folded?
But if you got because if you got a good husband that is going to take care of you as the Bible requires, there are going to be things put in place
as
so
the Bible requires.
Right, life insurance, savings account, that's all going to be in place. So that replacement is already there.
They feel that nothing and no one should be your everything but God. Because men, we're not perfect in that sense. So me personally, I don't feel like a man is your everything and a woman is his everything. I feel like we are, as I stated, accessories to each other. So you're in a sense where you're not going to be my everything, because when I lose my everything, nothing is promised but life and death. That's those certainties that we know.
Okay, let me say another thing then. I'm going to go and I don't like to base any conversation on religion and because I want to have it broad enough. But okay, but I know that a lot of us African American, we do have a foundation in the church. So as we all talk about the Bible and we want this man, God puts guidelines in the Bible as to how we are supposed to treat these men. So if you're not going to treat your man the way that God, and everybody think God is passing out men, I ain't never seen no note from no man say it came from God. But anyway, the Bible says submit yourselves unto your own husband. Submit. Now,
as he submits himself to God.
Okay, so if he submit, and he tells the men to love your wife as God loves the church. So what you just said about not having somebody be your all, that's against what the Bible says. Because if you submitting yourself, if I submit myself to this man, that means all of what I am, I'm submitting to him.
If that goes back, okay, I understand that, but my thing is, in that submission, that comes with great responsibility and a duty. Oftentimes, that man, in some cases, not fully submitted to God himself.
See, we know what God is going to honor your
commitment. God is going to honor your commitment to do it as He commanded. You don't have to worry about that man not doing his part.
Did you submit to your husband?
I did the second time. The first time I didn't, because I didn't understand and I didn't learn. But that second time, I had a pastor break that Bible down to me and explain it, and I changed everything and did exactly what I needed to do because I didn't learn better.
But my thing is, I don't believe that the Lord is going to, me personally, and if I could be wrong, if you out selling drugs and we ain't gonna eat, I know it's 3 ways out of there, you're gonna be hooked on crack, go to jail or die. I'm not submitting to you.
Why are you with that man though?
Right, I'm saying
why you with him, period?
But I'm saying to her example of marriage. If your husband lost his job and he decided upon himself to go out there and sell drugs, this is before you knowing what he's doing. Right. And am I to submit to that? That level of submission is going to change based on what your relationship is. Because what am I to submit to?
But you have just taken only part of that scripture. Submit to your husband as your husband has submitted to God. Right. He's doing drugs, he has submitted to God. Right. That first part of the equation is null and void.
Right. But that's what if in the beginning he did, because we all backslid. Then what?
Then you get on your knees and you pray to God and ask God to help turn that around. Because that, again, at the end of the day, the accountability is going to be for you to answer to God for your actions, not what the man did.
But we still have choice and free will.
We do.
So if, as you guys stated, if it's non and void, then I'm no longer submit to anything, because you don't walk away from how things should have been lined up anywhere for my full everything.
So where does the role of the help me come in then? At that point, aren't you the help me to get him back on track?
I can help get you back on track, but if my prayer sometimes my prayers, sometimes that's not the person who God could choose for you. It can seem like that's of God, but it's not. You know what I mean? It can have the appearance of the makeup of this a holy union, but not necessarily. You know what I mean? Sometimes, because it goes back to that free will and choice. We do have a choice. Sometimes we can say, or we can put it in our mind, this of God, I'm going to do it, but that's not necessarily the person who God even wants you to be in that union with.
We can go do that.
So that's true. So that's what I'm just saying, in a sense where I think not to get religious or be out all at the men and the women, but at some point I just think I'm so sick and tired of men saying that we will not submit. sometimes even if you do submit, they still complain about that. So what are the excuses, man?
Like
it's
you
the
just
excuses
had,
I think men are used.
Xavier, you just had a comment posted on your page that I responded to about when the woman, when she loves her man, she should call and ask him how was his day. She should call and say, baby, where are you? Are you okay? Men get offended by that.
Yeah.
You make us, you make it seem like we're being insecure or we're checking up on. The minute we stop, now I got another man. So we try to play this role that you want us to play, and you're offended by it. So you're confusing us. You know, I mean, if this is the role that has been set forth for us, allow us to do it. Don't degrade it. Don't question it. You know, don't make us feel like we're doing something wrong when we're really just trying to be that woman that God says we should. One woman that loves you is not going to call you and say, baby, how was your day? Are you okay? Do you need anything?
I have never had a man get offended. If he does, then there's something going on.
But do you see
something going on?
Xavier, you see how many comments you got on that? That was a very long conversation. You know, and the guy started talking about the passive aggressive, and you know, no, I mean, this is what guys do.
It lies on both of us. Women need to learn how to submit, and the men need to truly lead. Not saying she won't let me lead. No, in most cases that I've witnessed, they just, I'm sick of them with the excuses.
That's what it is. All the conversation go back to independent. And they need to stop putting a negative connotation on that because it's not negative
it's
to
a role that
have
we
a job
and
say, okay, I'm supporting our household.
And on another page also, asking women a question and painting a scenario, and that was this. You walk into a room, there's a guy in there that you're attracted to, that you find attractive. How do you get his attention without using sex or sexuality? And most women did not know how.
Being single for so long, your same situation, I was so used to doing everything myself. And I remember one day my girlfriend's mother said to my girlfriend and I that we were single at the time, and she's like, you guys will never find a man. And we were just like, oh, and she's like, because you're too independent. You're not even making room for a man to even be in your life.
If I see an attractive woman, my mindset is not to see what kind of conversation she has right then and there. My mindset is I'm gonna get your information. I'm gonna call you, and I'm gonna work on hitting that. As I'm working on trying to hit that, it might come up that she has a good conversation. I might fall into I might actually like her, and it might move towards something.
That's different for you single guys, though.
That girlfriends are temporary, so you can be the next one, she said, and you only respect a man's wife as much as he respects her. So I was like, wow. Teaching moment there. I'm like,
how horrible is that?
Foxy, I see you.
This girl, Miss Fox, thinks she gonna eat our loaded yam, the whole thing, but that ain't going on. Jimmy Jam gonna smash it. With my guest, Xavia Fox from Xavia Fox Talks.
And you can tell everybody what you want to be called by.
Xavia Fox here, still on the red carpet, represents
X. X was good.